All right. What up, people? What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game, with my dude, the legend, Donovan Sharpe. What's going on, bro?
What's going on, bro? Man, legend, man. You got to be, you can't be calling me that kind of stuff, man. You catch all kinds of heat for that.
Donovan Sharpe. Listen. I'm telling you, you know.
That kind of stuff, man. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I think I might have you on in the background. Hang on.
Okay. Yeah, I think you probably got another.
Oh, there it is. Yep. Sorry about that. There we go. All right. Now we're good. Okay. We're good. Okay.
Donovan, you've been doing your thing for a minute, man. You know, and you know, this is the first time I actually have you on my channel.
Yeah.
So what's up? So shout out to you for coming on here. And you know, I'm excited because you got the Conference of Masculine Excellence going down. You feel what I'm saying? And guys, you got to come out to Miami. I'm gonna be there.
Yes, sir.
A lot of other great speakers are gonna be there. You feel what I'm saying? So let's start this off real quick. Just a real quick overview of who you are for those who might not know who you are, and you know, talk about that, and then we'll get into this conference and everything like that. So tell everybody who Donovan Sharpe is and all that other good stuff.
Yeah, so my name is Donovan Sharpe. That's a pseudonymous name. My real name is Alex Hopkins, but I go by Donovan Sharpe just to give myself sort of a pseudonym, protect my identity, things of that nature. I've been doxxed before, but who hasn't?
Right.
But I've been in this community. I've been in the Manosphere now for going on. This is going to be my eighth year. I started off writing for what at what the time was considered to be the gold standard as far as Red Pillar Manosphere blogs, Return of Kings. I wrote 80 articles for Return of Kings. Of course, we're all familiar with Roosh Falizadeh. After I left Return, I didn't really leave Return of Kings. Things just kind of slowed down because I was taking things in another direction. I wrote another 120 articles for another website. So I've written over 200 articles, 200 Manosphere related articles in this particular sphere. I also have 12 I have 12 courses. I've written 11 books, and my channel, I just cracked 131,000 subscribers. I've done
That's what's up. Going in. I love it.
And so at this point, I've done good God, I think I've done well over 1,000 videos at this point. I've done thousands of videos. I think there's something like 50,000 hours of content on my YouTube channel. But yeah, I've been at this for a while, and what I do is I teach men how to become the best version of yourself. Most of us find this community because of sexual frustration or heartbreak, and a lot of times it's both. And while you and we understand that nothing is guaranteed in life, there's no such thing as a risk-free proposition when it comes to a woman.
Right.
Our job is to make sure that you safeguard yourself from these perils involving women. And part of the reason you do that is, of course, a part of the strategy for doing that is self-improvement. Get your money right, get your game on point, make sure you hit the gym, make sure you're in good shape. If you do all of these things and a few other peripheral things, chances are you're going to have a much better experience with women than you would otherwise. So the long and the short of who I am and what I do is I teach men to become the very best versions of themselves by telling you guys what to look out for, what not to do. And of course, my signature course, Womanese, accurately decodes female language, etc. So that's who I am, man.
That's what's up. And real quick, I want to talk about the Womanese course because I think a lot of times guys, because we take things on face value, we don't realize that women don't speak that way. Like I was just talking about this earlier when I did a show with Steve. I was talking about how a woman will say, she'd be like, yeah, I've been single for 3 years. And the guy thinks that she hasn't been with a guy for 3 years, like she's been having sex, but she just means that she hasn't been in a relationship long-term relationship for 3 years, but she's been going in. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, and women do this all the time. And the reason they do this, Locario, is because they know that men don't know. So just using your example, that's one of the first, that's actually one of the first translation of womanese is I haven't been in a relationship in 2 years. The translation to that is I've been fucking random dudes for 2 years. The reason women tell you that they haven't been in a relationship in 2 years is because they want to give you the impression that they've been celibate the entire time. They want to give you the impression that they've been sitting at home alone with their legs closed, waiting for the Holy Father himself to show her Mr. Right. Well, that could be partially true. The problem is the Holy Father is now showing her Mr. Right now, back to back to back. And just like you said earlier, we as men, we are very direct. We are very overt with our communication. Women communicate covertly. And a lot of men they really get run up the flagpole. They get hemmed up because they don't understand what women are really saying when they talk to them. And Locario, you know as well as anyone, women are allergic to being straight up with anybody.
Well, of course.
Now, this is not an indictment on the female gender. This is just how they are. And so because you mix that with the fact that they're trying to mislead you in a lot of ways, they're speaking covertly and they don't want you to know certain things. They're telling you what they think they want you to hear. At that point, they've got you right where they want you. Womanese completely frees everyone's mind. It's easily my most successful course to date. I've got it in video version, audio version. I've got it in ebook, and I've also got it in paperback. So that's definitely my signature course. I'm very, very proud of it. I was actually thinking about coming out with another volume. Dude, the whole Womanese series has 600 translations. I don't know that I could squeeze any more out, but I'm going to try.
But it's interesting though, because the fact that it's that many translations and there's so many things that a lot of guys don't know.
Right.
That's something I think is important for dudes to understand because, you know, they guys will be dealing with women, they get caught up. And this is the thing. And you know, you and I know both because we've been in long-term situations, short-term situations. And the longer you've been with a woman, the more like attached you are to her, more emotionally attached you are to her. So it was like, you know, I actually like this woman, I care about her. So sometimes in our own head, we want to like, believe what she's saying because it's like, you know, I don't want to like think it's this thing when it's not this thing. You see what I'm saying? So I think it's important for guys to know that. Now, let me say this. I want to transition to the Conference of Masculine Excellence because that's the thing that's coming up in May in Miami. So let's take it back to what made you first want to even do this conference? And what is this like the third one or is this the second, third one or which?
Yeah, this is the second one.
Second one, right?
Yeah.
So what made you want to start this in the first place? Like,
for me, the reason why, the main reason why I started to want to do a CME is because of cancel culture. I've been deplatformed off of, I've been canceled on every platform. I've been canceled on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, VK, OK. I was even canceled on Teachable and Kajabi. And I was I made those companies hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right.
At some point, I realized that, okay, the way to keep myself, from being canceled is to, number one, have my own platform, which Devin has done for me in the form of the SharpStream mobile app, which you can download on Apple or Android. Shameless plug there. But another thing I knew that I needed to do is I needed to take my brand offline. It's very, very, now listen, it's certainly easy. It's possible to cancel offline stuff, but it's very, very difficult. So that's the reason I wanted to do the CME in the first place, was to make sure that, all right, I want to keep my, in case if anyone snaps their fingers and figures out a way to delete everything that I've ever done off the internet, at least I have the Conference of Masculine Excellence to fall back on, so I can still help men and bring men together.
Right.
Now that reason is still, that's still at the forefront of my mind. But the main reason now, it wasn't before, the main reason now is because of all of the infighting. A lot of people are well aware of the fact that the Manosphere has turned on itself. As recently as, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, the Manosphere was fairly unified, right? Like we all had, we had fundamental disagreements here and there, but for the most part, we said, okay, we're all on the same team. We might have some fundamental disagreements, but we're on the same team. Well, over the last couple of years or so, I mean, listen, the haters and detractors have really ratcheted things up. There are entire channels dedicated to just talking trash about Manosphere, guys. Number one.
Right.
Number two, there are a lot of underhanded tactics going on. We've got the doxing, we've got the mass flagging, all this other kind of stuff. Our biggest detractors, Locario, used to be women. Women don't have to talk about us anymore because now it's the men who talk about us the most. And so that really became I started the CME to give myself something to do offline. But the reason I am maintaining it is because I want to show everyone, because the Manosphere gets a bad rap, right? The Manosphere gets a bad rap. And you know, listen, man, social media, the mainstream media, they will pick and choose who they consider to be Manosphere people.
Right.
They always use the lowest common denominator. They use black pill guys, haters, guys who dox people. Oh, look what they're doing over there in the Manosphere. You shouldn't follow those guys. My answer is, listen, man, I'm not trying to go at anybody. I just want to work with men who want to work with other people. Now, there are some people that I no longer do collaborations with. I keep that. And listen, I'm as guilty as anybody for stirring up the pot and getting involved in all the bullshit.
Right.
100%. But at some point you have to grow up. So listen, I admit that I was part of the problem, but now I want to be part of the solution.
Right. And you know what's interesting? I want to say this real quick is that, and I don't actually talk about this a lot too, but I think what's interesting about the internet and like even the Manosphere or different, like, you know, different types of things is that people have to understand that, you know, we're going to have different ideas about things, but that doesn't mean that I got to hate you because you have a different idea. You understand? Like I had somebody hit me up and it was like, how are you friends with Myron, but y'all have different ideas? I'm like, me and Myron don't have to have the same ideas. That's my dude. Like we don't have to think of 100% about everything. And that's also why I actually like the fact that you had the show, The Six, that I was a part of. So The Six.
Yeah, man. That's a great show.
Because what I liked about The Six was that The Six showed that you can bring people together who have different opinions on things.
That's right.
It could actually still work together and it's fine. You feel what I'm saying? Because the thing is, as men, we're going to have our own paths. We're going to have our own ideas about certain things. We're going to disagree about this or disagree about that, and there's certain things we might agree on, right? Yep. But it doesn't have to be this thing where it's like, oh, well, because you believe this or because you think that, I can't be cool with that. And I think that's nonsense. You see what I'm saying?
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
So allowing 5 to maybe even 2% of your fundamental disagreements to be the reason why there's a fissure between you and someone else, to me, that's feminine.
Right.
As men, we understand that we are not. Now, girls have to do it this way. If girls don't agree fundamentally, they can't be friends because they're fucking women. If they don't agree 100%, or at least pretend to agree 100%, it's not going down like that. Men, we're different. Like I've been in fist fights with guys I ended up liking. It doesn't happen often, but it does happen. It's the same reason why it's the NHL allows fighting. Okay, you got a problem with me, I got a problem with you, let's duke it out. After that, they shake hands and they go have a beer. That's generally how it goes. Men, we're not supposed to hold grudges. We're not supposed to, how can I put this? We're supposed to work together, because even though we have some fundamental disagreements, we're all on the same team, and it makes absolutely zero sense, Locario, to go at somebody simply because they disagree with one thing that you said. It makes absolutely no sense at all. So that's why I think the CME is important, because you and we don't agree on everything.
Exactly.
But I consider you to be a very good friend of mine. We've known each other for years. I had you up here in New Jersey to do the one-on-one with Donovan Sharpe, you and Steve the Dean. That was a fantastic podcast.
Right.
Obviously, you were on the Six for a good long while. You're actually one of the original Six, along with Kevin Samuels, Myron Gaines. I mean, it was an all-star cast.
Right.
We don't always agree on everything, but man, dude, we made something magical back then, man. So what I really want the CME to be is kind of the real life version of the Six.
Right. That's great, and I think that's actually a good positive thing, because even, for example, like I go super hard sometimes on red pill ideas. You already know I go in. You know?
Absolutely.
And if, for example, Coach Greg Adams, shout out to him, he'll go hard on some game stuff, but it's like that's cool, like, you know. But when we all are together on the Six, it's whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, that's right.
I think that's the thing where it shows that men can agree and disagree and still keep it good and keep it moving.
Yes.
I think that's a really important lesson that people learn. You know what I'm saying?
we as men, we have this community more than anything. We have to show other people that we are willing to work together. We're willing to have a united front. For whatever reason, I can't see who said this. Somebody says, does Walter have game? This is very, very interesting. Now Walter, I assume he's not talking about my cat, because my cat's name is also Walter. Walter Weeks, aka Fresh Prince CEO. A lot of guys dog on him because he's got a stuttering problem and he doesn't have game and this and that and the other. Listen, the more you have to understand, and I think now you can agree or disagree with this, the more money, the more muscles, the more experiences you have as a man, the less game the less game is necessary. Now, that does not mean that if you have money, muscles, and all this other kind of stuff, that you're just impenetrable. No. Some of the biggest targets that women choose are men who have money but no game. You can have all the money in the world. If you don't have any game, you're not an option. You're a target. Well, Walter Weeks, and again, he's still a very young guy. I don't even think he's 29, 30 years old yet. A lot of people say, well, a Fresh Prince CEO doesn't have game. Listen, he has game. It's just not the kind of game that you want. So Fresh Prince CEO, he's a master networker. He drives he drives 2 Lamborghinis going on 3, and he lives a really great life. Girls are attracted to that. Listen, Walter's game might not be as tight as mine or yours, but his game is going to be different from our game.
Right. And also too, this is the thing. And shout out to my dude, Fresh Prince, and shout out to mine, and shout out to Fresh and Fit. Because this is the thing. Let me explain it. Because even in the documentary, in the Game Kings documentary, we talk about how game is a strategy. You understand? It's a strategy to get what you want. So whatever strategy you take, that's how you go about it. Now, what's the funny part? What people don't know about Fresh Prince CEO is that Fresh Prince, when me and Miles first met him through the internet, through Myron and everything, Fresh actually gave me and Miles a tutorial on how to step up our social media presence. And so some of the stuff that he taught me, I implement that to this day. Like for example, Fresh and Myron, the equipment that I'm using now, the cameras, the type of high quality stuff,
the lenses,
it helped me with that stuff too. So what you got to understand is that game encompasses all the different things. So it's like, what is your strategy to get what you want to get? But also you got to understand the type of person you are too.
There you go.
So Fresh, he loves the Lamborghinis. He loves the Miami lifestyle. So he's making that thing work for him. And this is right. This is also why the Conference of Masculine Excellence is important, because you can get different perspectives from different types of men who have different types of game.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So this is why, people have to understand that. And then also too, is that you have to also peep game when you're interacting with different men. So for example, when I came to see you in Jersey and I come into the spot, I'm peeping everything. So I'm learning from Donovan. I'm like, oh shit, I like the way he got the camera set up. I like the way he got the seat set up. I like the way that he's working with his girl to make shit happen. So all of that I'm picking up on. I'm taking mental notes. So that's what's important about learning game from different aspects and different type of people, because you pick up on different things, not only just about with women, but just life in general. So I think that's a very, very important thing. So I want to ask you this. So what was your, process of, or actually say this, how difficult it is to get all of these guys from different places, different backgrounds, come to this event and make this happen?
Oh man, it is. I'll tell you what, man. It is hard. It really, really is hard. And listen, don't feel sorry for me, man. I live a great life. It is very challenging. It is very challenging to be able to bring high caliber men all together in one place for one weekend. What's made that easier is the message. It's positive masculinity. We're not about trolling. We're not about going back and forth with people. We're not about any of that stuff. We are about positive masculinity. We want to show a positive, united front. And when you build relationships with like-minded men and show them, hey, I'm dealing with you from a place of being straight up. There's no games being played. There's no hidden agenda. There's no, well, if I tell him this, he's going to do that. There's some people who operate that way, Locario. They're always operating I'm thinking 3 steps ahead. If I say this, he's gonna. I think the reason I don't operate that way is because I'm incapable of operating that way. This doesn't mean that I'm any better or worse than the next guy, but me, just like we said earlier, as men, we take what we do and say at face value. I like working with men. What you see is what you get. And I've worked with men in the past, and unfortunately for me, I've made some personnel mistakes. I've worked with men in the past who clearly had a hidden agenda. They either weren't who they said they were, or they had something nefarious planned for me or something like that. And it was like, you can always tell sometimes. You can't always tell, but every once in a while you can tell, okay, this person is not being straight up with me.
Right.
Like, you're a straight up guy. Coach EO is a straight up guy. He's a straight shooter. I like working with men who say what they mean and mean what they say. I'm not about this reading between the lines. I shouldn't have to read between the lines with men. You're going to have to do that with women. I shouldn't have to read between the lines with men. If I find myself having to read between the lines and what did he mean when he said this, then I can't work with you. And there were some people who reached out to me and said, Donovan, I would like to be a part of the CME. I had to respectfully decline the request because I see the way they move.
Right.
There's a reason why I chose you and Locario, you and Solo and Myron and Kevin and Minister Jap for the 6, because you guys are all straight up people. That's also why I have invited each and every one of you to the CME, because I know that what I see and hear is what I get.
Right. No, that's some real shit. And you know, I think what a lot of guys could take from this or learn coming to events like this, right?
Yeah.
Is to see that, you know, because it's one thing to, you know, you're on the internet and you're talking certain things, but to come out here in real life, to feel the energy, you feel what I'm saying? Like to really be out there and see how things are, see how things work, see how things are put together, and see people working together to actually create the goal and then actually achieve the goal.
Yes,
is pretty good. And also too, learning from all these different aspects of different types of guys so that you can take from each person and then implement it into your own thing. And I think people kind of sleep on that aspect of it, because that's what I always tell people is that, you know, one thing about like improving yourself as a man and becoming a better man is to humble yourself and say, listen, I don't know everything. I can learn something from somebody else that I have no idea about, that can help me get to this next level. Because, and real quick, I want to shout out Fresh and Fit again real quick, because this is the thing. With Fresh and Fit has done something that most people haven't done in this space, which is create that level of a show to where they're actually changing the game for a lot of other content creators who are doing the same thing that they're doing now. So if we're going to keep it real, you feel what I'm saying? It's like you can learn that for like something like that from that. You understand? You can learn something like consistency, longevity from a Donovan Sharpe or a Mr. Locario or whoever. You understand what I'm saying? So there's certain things that you can learn if you're actually paying attention and peeping game and seeing what these people have to offer when it comes to certain, you know, aspects of the game. You know what I'm saying? So
no, I'm with you 100% on that, man. One size doesn't fit all. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think most men know and understand that. Another point that you just made, as far as people coming together, is everybody can teach somebody something. I don't have all the answers. I don't. I'm not. I tell people all the time, man, I'm not very good at many things. Okay. But the things that I'm good at, I'm really, really, really fucking good at. That's what I try to impart upon men.
Right.
And again, I don't have this endless well of knowledge. I learn from you guys every time I talk to you. Every time I do a show, every time I do a 6 or I have a collaboration, I learn from those guys.
Right.
And you really, as a man, especially in positions that we're in, you really have to humble yourself, because if you, how can I put this? If you don't humble yourself, then you're not really going to learn anything. And self-improvement is about the constant pursuit of excellence and learning. If you're not open-minded enough to want to learn something from someone else who might actually have some disagreements with you, then you're really sort of stunting your own growth. And don't get me wrong, man, there are some things that I am closed-minded on. I'm 44 years old, man. I reserve the right to be closed-minded on some things because I've experienced the same things over and over and over and over again. A woman does not love you for who you are. I have experienced that many, 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 many times. I'm very closed-minded to that because I've experienced that in my life many, many times. By the same token, that doesn't mean that I'm not open to maybe adding some dimension in my own worldview. And this is exactly what the CME is all about. We don't always have to agree on everything, but as long as we all agree that we are team man, we are team men, we are pro male, I think that's really all we need.
Right, because even with myself, there's certain things that I have no idea about when it comes to fitness. So it's like somebody's teaching me something about fitness, I'm all ears, like, okay, cool, I didn't know that, let me jot that down. Even though I'm actually making money, I'm not a finance expert. You feel what I'm saying?
Right.
I learn some things about finances that'll actually, help me out when it comes to doing certain things. So it's the same thing with this, is that there's certain things that you can learn from different people. You may not know that can improve your game. So this is why this is important. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, somebody just asked where can they find the complete list of the speakers. I'll actually bring that up if you'll allow me to share my
let me add the screen right here. All right.
MasculineExcellence.com. Give me 2 seconds. So our lineup this year is, dude, it's going to be unbelievable, man. So this is the CME website. And we've actually put your affiliate link in the chat. People can buy directly. They can buy directly from you. So here is our list of speakers for the CME. Obviously myself will be there. Rollo Tomasi, Ed Lattimore, Kendall Kirkland, who was the star of Temptation Island season 3. He's going to be there. Myron Gaines, obviously a Fresh and Fit, is going to be there. John from Modern Life Dating, Coach Everett Overton, Minister Jap is going to speak this time around. He was at the first CME, but he didn't speak. He'll be speaking this time. Terrence Pop, always good to have him around. Adult film star Sterling Cooper is going to be there. Troy Francis, the Renegade Playboy. Book of Alpharonomy is going to be there. I'm glad I was able to get him. Of course, you, Mr. Locario, Fresh Prince CEO. George Bruno is going to be the official MC. Kevin Sabo, who is also a filmmaker, and Red Pill Thor. So this is the list. This is the list of speakers that are going to be present at the Conference of Masculine Excellence. If you'll allow me to, Locario, I'd like to play one of two clips here. Let me know if you can hear this. Masculinity. Can you hear that?
I get a little bit. Can you turn it up, or is that still loud?
I'm going to turn it up here. I'm going to miss a second here. Oh, here we go. All right, let me start it over. Masculinity in 2022 quite simply means a man giving himself permission to act like a man. There's so many men who simply aren't saying, acting like they want to act. And the reason for that is because there's fear. The red pill gives men permission to be masculine. The CME attendee is a man who is looking for answers. A man who's looking for a deeper understanding of himself, who is kind of stuck in a rut, feels that he's not maxed out his potential, but he wants to take his life to the next level. Nothing inspires a man to improve himself like being around other men who are about self-improvement. The Conference of Masculine Excellence is going to be right here in sunny Miami, Florida. This, of course, is the home of Fresh and Fit. Myron Gaines and I were very, very good friends. Miami is kind of the default headquarters for the Red Pill. Great weather, fast cars, pretty girls, good food, man. So that's the first clip. Somebody in the chat said that I've talked. I'll say we're pro men in one breath and then talk shit about MGTOWs. I will own that. I will own up to that. I used to be very, very difficult. I used to be very hard on MGTOWs. I used to be very, very judgmental on guys who called themselves MGTOWs. And with the benefit of hindsight and a little bit maturity on my side, I was wrong. I was wrong for that. And the reason I was wrong for that is because I've been out of the game for almost 6 years, Locario. I had no idea just how bad it was out on the dating market. Listen, you hear stories here and there, but being in a long-term cohabitating relationship and being on my grind and doing what I do now, I don't date anymore. I just have my girlfriend. That's it. And so I can admit as a man that, you know what? I was wrong for my judgment of MGTOWs. And here's the way I did this. This is actually funny. This Jared Mesa really needs to go and do his research, because 3 years ago, I made my first appearance on the Coach Greg Adams show because someone told him that I was talking shit about MGTOWs. And I said, wait a minute, Coach Greg Adams is a MGTOW? There's no way. So I reached out to CGA and we hashed it out there on the air. And what I found out is that MGTOWs are very different from what I thought they were. And this is part of the learning process. Joker of Better Bachelor, he doesn't identify as a MGTOW, but that's the guy that they sort of exalt. This guy is living his best life. This guy is traveling around the world. He's traveling around the country on his bus. This is a MGTOW. So I can admit, again, with the benefit of hindsight being 2020, being a little bit more mature and learning more about the MGTOW community, I don't talk shit about them anymore.
Right. And also too, the guys have to understand that you got to think about the difference between ideas and making shit personal. You see what I'm saying? So it's always ideas. So the thing is this, there's nothing wrong with talking about ideas or disagreeing with ideas or even talking shit about an idea, because the idea is just the idea. So what that means is that if you stand on an idea or you have an ideology that you sort of identify with, that's fine.
Yes.
But you have to be able to stand on whatever it is you identify with, and understand that certain people, like for example, where I talk about games. So there's a lot of people like, oh, game is bullshit and game is stupid. And you're just, like, I'm like, cool, you can think that and you can talk about it. But what happens is that I understand how important game is and how game works and how game benefits a person's life. So if whatever you stand on is benefiting you, or it's something that you like, because for example, I talk a lot of shit about dudes who trick a lot. Now, I always said that if a man wants to trick, he can, because that's his prerogative.
He can do what he wants.
He can do whatever he wants. You know what I'm saying? So like, you shouldn't give a shit about what I got to say about it, but you should stand on that if that's what it is that you like, because that's what a man is about. You stand on your principles of whatever that is, and you say, I don't give a fuck what anybody else think. This is what I think. This is where I want to go. And you can also say that, but also still have room to be able to take in other ideas also. You see?
Exactly.
That's all it is.
And what a lot of people, it's funny, what our detractors like to do is, oh, these guys talk about game and game is bullshit and it's playing games. Look, the word game is simply a placeholder for understanding how to handle women sexually. That's really it. There's nothing complicated about it. Game is really just a placeholder term for the ability to escalate sexually with women on purpose. Another game definition is, hey, man, it's a man who knows how to handle his women in varying relationships. So while we use the word game a lot, the word game is just shorthand for someone who understands how to handle women. That's it. It's nothing more, nothing less. Same thing like alphas and betas. Listen, we're all alpha and beta to some degree. Some guys are more alpha than beta. Some guys are more beta than alpha. But alpha is basically it's shorthand for a man. It's shorthand for saying a man who has options in women, knows how to handle women, and is a leader among men. Beta is shorthand for a man who has not figured out how to handle women yet. Men who trick are beta, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I think a lot of people like to use our terminology against us, and they disingenuously try to pretend that it's not just shorthand.
Right. And that's the thing. And that's the type of stuff that lets people ignore the big picture.
There you go.
And the big picture is, okay, cool. What are we trying to get accomplished here as far as, you being a man and you improving yourself? Like that's the main thing. So whatever you're doing, is that helping you?
Yes.
Because we could sit there and argue about, whether or not you should go to the gym or not, or have muscles or not, if that's going to get you laid. We could do that all day. And that's cool to do that sometimes too. But is going to the gym helping you? Is that getting you healthier? Is it getting you more fit? Then cool.
There you go.
Do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we even arguing about that? And I think that's the thing where guys have to understand. They have to say to themselves, what is it that I'm doing to help benefit me? And so this is why I think it's important to, because of all the great speakers we have that's coming to the conference, right? I look at it as it's not necessarily just about the speakers, but it's about the message and what
100%
messages coming from all the speakers that can help you with your journey as a man. You see what I'm saying? That's what I love about it when it comes to different perspectives and everything. Because also too, what you have to understand is that, like, when it comes to this entire thing where we're talking about masculinity, we're talking about different topics about all these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
The difference is good because that gives us content. That gives us something to talk about. That gives us something to dissect. That gives us something to grow. So it's like, it's actually good that there's different types of things and different types of lifestyles, different types of information. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's great.
I'll tell you this, man. The interesting thing is that a lot of guys in this space, and this is the content creators and the purveyors as well as the consumers. There are a lot of guys who like to say, well, I'm not going to do anything for a woman. Look, I'm going to be honest. I don't do as much for women, for female attention as I used to, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the only reason why I bust my ass in the gym every day is to be strong and healthy. Yes, being strong and healthy is the number one benefit, but I also want to be attractive to my woman and other women. For a man to deny that he is doing something for the purpose of attracting the opposite sex, you have to be able to admit that, because guys who don't admit that, those are the guys who simp the worst. Those are the guys who try, I don't do anything for a woman. And then in like the very next day, he's simping for a woman, he's tricking, he's crying, he's doing all this extra crazy stuff. You have to admit, okay, my life is supposed to be about myself, but you also have to be also have to be honest, Locario, and acknowledge the fact that, yeah, there are some things that I do in my everyday life that I do to keep myself attractive to women. Right. There is nothing wrong with making an effort to look attractive to women on purpose. Doesn't make you a simp, doesn't make you a loser. It makes you a man and it makes you human. So I think a lot of guys really try to take our message to the extreme. Bitches ain't shit and da 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 da. Look. And listen, we all go through that stage, right? That the anger phase, whatever. No, man. Well, I don't give a fuck about her. I kick her out after I bust a nut. Fam, it don't work that way, man. Like, you can do that with some women, but if you actually want the bitch to stay around, that's not gonna fly. So what men have to understand is that you got to put yourself first, but by the same token, don't be afraid to admit, yeah, you know what? The reason I dress a certain way at this certain time is to be attractive to women. The reason why I spray on this certain cologne is to be attractive to women. I'm not trying to be attractive to myself, Locario. I'm not gay. I'm not trying to fuck myself. I'm trying to fuck other bitches. Right. It's okay to make yourself attractive to women on purpose. It does not make you a loser.
Right. And the key thing you said was you got to put yourself first, because the problem with a lot of guys is that they'll do things for women and that's it. They're like, themselves, and then they're just like, oh, I'm trying to get her. And that's the problem with a lot of guys, was that they'll do that type of stuff and then they disregard themselves. So their whole energy is just for the women. But like myself, you, who we actually have long-term relationships.
Yes.
We understand that there's a certain type of management that goes with being able to interact with a woman. Like I did a post on Facebook the other day where I said that the reason why most guys have issues with women is because they don't come to terms with the fact that women are going to be annoying. Generally, you know what I'm saying? So if you accept the fact that a woman's going to be annoying, then you'll be able to say, okay, I know this is going to happen, so I need to assert myself to make sure I know how to manage these situations correctly. But that comes with experience, and that comes with learning to be in those relationships. But again, this is why conferences like this is important, because you're speaking to men who are actually living these experiences. So he can tell you this, so that if you do get a girl you like, you're not gonna dump her. It's like,
some dumb shit.
Exactly. You're gonna be like, oh well, she, like, it's like, bro, you've been with your girl for 2 years. You're not gonna dump her over something that she did that was some stupid shit that you could have just checked and corrected and then kept it going. You see what I'm
saying? This is funny. Another huge mistake. That and this doesn't mean that men are bad people for doing this, but you really have to think about what a lot of men are requesting. Men use risk as a reason to check out of the dating market. Right. And it's okay if you do that, but there's no such thing as a risk-free proposition. If you interact with women on a sexual level, no matter how much or little, it is going to carry a certain measure of risk, as most things in life. As a man, there is no such thing as a risk-free proposition with a woman. Even if you're a trick, even if you're a John and you pay prostitutes for sex, there's still some risk there. You could get arrested. You might get caught. You catch an STD. Maybe her pimp beats you up. There's always going to be risk. So I think that a lot of men disingenuously say, well, if she makes this one mistake, I'm just going to kick her to the curb. No, women aren't perfect. Women are far from perfect. It is incumbent on you as a man to coach and train the bad behaviors out of your woman. Because, Locario, you and I both know here in 2022, women do not come ready-made for relationships anymore. Their mothers and fathers damn sure ain't teaching them. So it is incumbent upon us to train and coach our women. If that's not something you want to do,
I did a video years ago called "There's no such thing as girlfriend material. You have to create your girlfriend."
That's right. That's right. Like there's no, and now that's the reality of today. 50, 60 years ago, yeah, women came ready-made for the most part to be in relationships. And a lot of guys say, you know what, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. I'm not. Look, if you're not willing to put in the effort to maintain a quality relationship, I'm not mad at you. Just understand that yesteryear is not coming back. Like a lot of us, we need to go back to the 1950s. Fam, it's 2022. The 1950s are over. You either need to deal with what is or just deal with it. You either need to deal with women as they are and coach and train them out of these bad habits, or just check out. Either way, I'm good with that. Here's another thing. A lot of guys want all of the we talk all the time, Locario, about how girls want all of the benefits without any of the costs. Right? They want the 6'4" alpha nigga with the 6-pack abs and the 6-foot dick without having girls throwing the pussy at them. Well, guys a lot of times are the same way. They want a girl who's perfect. Well, what's wrong with your girlfriend? Why'd you dump her? Oh, she's annoying. Newsflash, fam. Every girl is annoying. She's neurotic. Every girl is neurotic. Every girl is annoying. Every girl's going to get on your nerves. Gentlemen, women aren't perfect. They're going to fuck up. But here's the thing that most guys have to worry about. Women need a payoff too. Okay. We're not the only ones that need a return on our investment. I'll use my own relationship as an example. Devin has a lot of annoying traits, but her pros far outweigh her cons. And that in large part is the reason I'm with her. On the other side of that, I am not the easiest guy to be with. I have a very short temper. I'm hyper focused and driven, which can sometimes drive her crazy.
Right.
I'm very, very high octane all the time. Does Devin like having to deal with that all the time? Of course not. But guess what? What she gets in return for the time being makes it worth it to put up with that.
Exactly.
If your woman has annoying traits, that's fine. But if she has traits that offset those annoying traits, no woman's going to be perfect. She's not going to be a 10 who's docile, submissive, no body count, no nothing, who doesn't burp or fart, who knows how to get. No. Those women don't exist.
Exactly.
Men, listen, keep your standards high, but there's no need to don't look for perfection. Don't look for the risk-free proposition. They do not exist.
That's facts. And I think that's a very important thing that guys have to understand, because this is the thing. We're both in our 40s. I'm about to be 41 next month. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Yeah. Oh, congratulations.
And you say you're 44, right? So like,
yeah,
both in our 40s. So I think a lot of guys who are younger who look at us or watch us, and guys like us, they're like, man, I'm just gonna pump and dump forever. I'm like, no, you're not.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God, dude, I was the same way when I first found this community. I was like, dude, I'm gonna fuck 10 new bitches a month, and I did it for a while, but it gets old, it gets tiring, man.
Because first, when you get older, and one, you're busy. Two, you don't have the same energy that you
don't want to fuck as much.
20, right? And on top of that, most guys, and shout out to my dude Caleb Jones, he was talking about this too. He said, he was like, most guys think that they're not gonna want a woman, but when you start getting older, you're gonna want a woman in most cases, either a girlfriend, a wife, or just even like a girl that you have that's there that you're interacting with, because you're gonna want a chick. You're not gonna want to just be chilling by yourself, because it's just more fun with a woman.
Dude, listen, man. And I've said this before. A lot of people ask me, Donovan, you were up to your eyeballs in cocaine and strippers in Las Vegas. Why did you leave that all behind? Well, because number one, that life was very close to swallowing me up. I got in a lot of trouble out there. I wouldn't change it for the world. It was a magic carpet ride, but it was starting to get the better of me. Number two, Locario. Kevin Samuel says this all the time, and I agree 100%. Women and men are better together.
Right.
I love my life. Could I have gotten here without Devin? Absolutely. Would I be living a happy life without her? You better fucking believe it. But my life is so much sweeter now that I have someone that I love and care about to share my success with, who actually also aids in success. Locario, a lot of men, again, they deny their true nature because they don't want to look bad to the community. Look, man, most people in the world, we are all biologically designed to seek out relationships with persons of the opposite sex. It is natural for you to want companionship. Men, we want companionship. Women need it. Admitting that you want companionship does not make you weak. It makes you a man. Admitting for a woman that you need companionship, that you need a man, doesn't make you weak. It makes you a woman. So I think a lot of guys have to stop really, and it takes a while. It takes some experience for guys to say, okay, all right, I've banged every, big titty bimbo, fake titted slut, da-da-da-da-da. It's time to slow things down. And you listen, as well as I do, the player life, although fun and exciting, can be very lonely at times. It's very, very, I remember when I was in Vegas, I had great fun, but I was kind of a lonely guy. I wasn't sad about it because we as men, we're built to thrive in solitude. But just like you said, man, at some point, it's nice to have someone to come home to. It's nice to have someone to care about you. It's not going to come without work. It's not going to come without strife. But at the end of the day, we are all biologically hardwired to want to be in relationships with persons of the opposite sex. Doesn't make you weak. It just makes you a person.
Wait a second. Did the great Donovan Sharpe say that he actually likes his woman? You're blue pill, bro. Blue pill. What are you talking about, bro? Come on, man.
Listen, man, I'm gonna tell you what. It's
I thought you was red pill, Donovan. What happened?
That's the thing. We get these wannabe red pill guys. I've got it. Like, there was one guy who said he had 10 girls in his rotation. Dude, come on. Like, dude, get the fuck out. Listen, I am not ashamed to admit on the air, I love Devin. I love her to the moon and back. There are not many things I would not do for her. I love having her in my life. She makes me happy. We have fun together. That doesn't make me a beta male. That doesn't make me a blue pill.
They're going to clip it like Donovan Sharpe exposed.
Donovan Sharpe exposed. He actually loves women. No, a lot of people I like to say that we hate women. No, we don't hate women. We love women. That's why this community exists. Right. And only when you figure out the way women operate can you make the adjustments necessary to have good relationships with them. So I love my woman. I love being in a relationship with her. Now, if her and I were to ever break up, that's it for me. Like, I don't have the time to train another bitch for 18 goddamn months. It'll be player for life. So Devin's going to be my last relationship, guaranteed. At least I say that now. But yes, I, the great Donovan Sharpe, can admit that, yes, I like my woman very much. I love my woman very much. And I'm very happy that she's in my life.
That's what's up. So to end this off, so where can people get the tickets? I know because I want to get a link from you to put in the video after this recording, whatever. So guys, if you're watching a rebroadcast, I'm gonna have the link below this video.
Yes, sir.
So you can get some of the tickets. But where else can people go to get the tickets? What's the give them all the details, what's the dates of the stuff,
absolutely
all of the information they would need.
Yeah, simply go to masculineexcellence.com. Go to masculineexcellence.com. That has all of the information you need. I'd like to play one more. It's about a 2-minute trailer, but
let's do it.
But I think it sort of encapsulates where I was and where I am now. Here we go.
I gotta put the volume up a little bit.
Yep. There we go. Hold on, let me go back. Oh, wait a minute.
Living in a constant state of.
Okay, here we go.
I'm living in this quasi crack house. Amy just called me and told me that her and Ben were engaged to be married. I was absolutely broken. There are men who are living in a constant state of malcontent and malaise. You're just existing, just kind of moseying through life. You don't know that you're missing anything. You don't understand that you're not living the life you want to live. If you've ever had that lingering doubt, am I really doing the best I can? Men owe it to themselves to get around men who love them, who care about them. The most important relationships a man can have is with other men who thrive, men who dominate life. They have strong bonds and lifelong relationships with like-minded men. If there's a man who's laying on his couch or he's just thinking something is missing, the CME awakens your masculinity. So if there's any doubt in your mind as to whether or not you're doing it right or you're getting the most out of life, you come to the CME in Miami, and I can promise you those questions will be answered for you in tenfold. I just want to bring men together to help us all to become better. A man's true happiness is derived by his pursuit of becoming the best version of himself. And that is exactly what the Conference of Masculine Excellence is all about. Whether you're a Red Pill content creator or a Red Pill content consumer, we can all benefit from being around like-minded men. It is very, very difficult to find men who understand what's really going on out here in the central marketplace from a Red Pill perspective. The Conference of Masculine Excellence brings all these men together so that we can network and have a community of like-minded men that we can lean on when we need to lean on. If you want more information about the Conference of Masculine Excellence, go to masculineexcellence.com. If you missed the CME, you missed that person-on-person, you missed that raw interaction. And you can't replace that. You can't replace that with a phone or a laptop or a computer for sure.
And there we go.
Oh, that's what's up.
Thank you very much.
So make sure you guys get the tickets. It's coming up May 19th. So
yes,
make sure you guys make
May
that
19th. One more quick thing. A lot of guys, a lot of people tend to Locario, you are sort of an anomaly. Mm-hmm. I get the impression that you've never really struggled with women. Am I wrong about that? Or was there ever a time that you did?
Yeah, it was like when I was younger, I was super naive.
Okay.
Like
okay.
I still had women here and there, but I was like, I would say back in the day, I struggled a little bit because I was like, the knowledge that I had was limited. So I would get girls here and there, but I was like chasing them and being a simp. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay, well, there we go.
Right.
My simp tales are absolutely legendary. And I just want men to know that no matter where you are in life, at the beginning of that trailer, I was living in a quasi crack house. I had no money. I was broke. I was 160 something pounds. I lost all this weight from doing pills and dope. To go from that to this, and trust me, with my proclivities and bad habits, if I can do it, and I don't mean this to be success porn, but if I can do it, anybody can. I am a 4-time convicted felon. I've been arrested almost 30 times. But the one reason why I've been able to build what I've built without any other distractions is because I do not have any children. This is why we always tell you guys, wrap your shit. You can make, listen, I'm serious. I have made every conceivable mistake possible with women and in life, but I'm still successful in life because I didn't make the biggest mistake in life, which is having kids with the wrong female. So just keep that in mind. But I'm not this natural alpha that just, no, man, I've been through it too. I was married to a woman who didn't give me any pussy for 1.5 years. I rented a woman I had never had sex with, a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartment near downtown, all the while she was fucking her baby daddy. I mean, I've been through all of this stuff. So I want guys to know that I speak from a place of experience. This is not only anecdotal evidence, this is empirical data. My stories are very similar to all of the other men who are both attendees and speakers at the CME. So I just want to make sure to make that distinction.
That's what's up, man. So guys, you got to understand, man, this is years and years of experience, information. You understand what I'm saying? That you guys are going to get at the Conference of Masculine Excellence, and come through and holler at us, man. So we can meet y'all in person. You know what I'm saying? So we could make this happen. You know what I mean? And you'll be in Miami, so you know it's going to be women out there like crazy. So
my God, bitches!
It's going to be a good time. You know what I'm saying? So guys, make sure remember. Get your tickets ASAP. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes,
also,
sir.
I'm gonna have the links below this video. And yeah, man. Anything else you want to say, Donna, before we wrap it up?
No, man. Listen, thanks for having me on and allowing me to. Yeah, absolutely. I love. I don't. This is something that I wish I had done more. But I like doing I like going onto other people's platforms because I don't have to drive the bus, right? Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. Thank you for agreeing to come and speak.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Very much looking forward to it, man.
Definitely. Thanks for having me on there, man. So guys, we appreciate everybody tuning in, and we will see you guys at the conference. All right. So we out of here.